All right, chapter 5, Shine On, Getting Gritty with Luster. So we've talked about color in the previous chapter of my ebook, which is available on my website. The printed book pre-order is also available. Anyways, so we've talked about color, and now we're going to talk about luster, which is how the light reflects off a surface. This should be a shorter chapter. Luster also is how the rock feels in the hand. So it's how it reflects light and how it feels. Metallic. Does it look like metal? Yes? No? See the metal in this? It's very metallic, isn't it? I would describe it as metallic. So this marcasite here has a metallic luster. Also, pro tip, metallics are always opaque. So this is a mix of a translucent and an opaque, multiple minerals. So it's a rock. And we are looking at the metallic marcasite, the opaque parts that are metallic. So that part's metallic. We'll get into the whole like translucency stuff later. Semi-metallic. So coal, kyanite, things that look almost metal, but not quite metal, like a dull metal. That's going to be a sub or semi-metallic sheen or luster. A lot like metallic metals, submetallic metals are opaque, but a few of them are semi-translucent. Submetallics can also look kind of weathered. This is a good example. So if you're not sure if you should categorize something as metallic or submetallic, take a look at its translucency, which we'll get into in one of these next chapters. Adamantine lusters are very gemmy lusters. They are translucent and are brilliant, and in this category the minerals produce a lot of internal sparkle like this zircon. Adamantine. Diamonds and sunstones can also have an adamantine luster, that very shiny, brilliant, refractive, shiny, glittery luster. That's what we're looking at, adamantine. Resinous. I don't have a piece of amber for some reason, so here's a picture of a piece of amber, and it has a resinous texture, or it essentially looks like plastic. It can be opaque or translucent, but never transparent. Vitreous or glassy. It's pretty self-explanatory. It looks like glass. It can be opaque to transparent, and the big thing is that it has a very shiny luster and a very glassy or glass-like look. A glassy luster accounts for about 70% of minerals, just a heads up. Pearly minerals are translucent to opaque and have a pearly or like the inside of a seashell like texture and sometimes a little bit of an iridescence. Mica is a great example of a pearly mineral. Greasy or oily. Opal is considered greasy or oily. See how it's slightly different than glass? A little bit more resinous, but not quite like that. This is a greasy or oily luster. By the way, I'm going to wrap this. It's going to be cool. Silky. Silky minerals are translucent to opaque. Oh, there's the silk there. It's hard to catch. This is camemberite, and I'm sure I'm butchering the name, but it has a silky or silk-like appearance. When unpolished, it can literally be silky to the touch or have silky fibers, a lot like asbestos. So when we encounter a silky mineral, we do want to be careful of it until we're, fully aware of what it is. Many, but not all, silky minerals are not water tolerant. Once they're polished like this, they are. But getting to this phase, a lot of the time you have to cut away a lot that's not. Earthy or dull. I think this pretty much explains it, but look at that rock. It's pretty earthy, and there's a semi-metallic little crystal right there, and then some other lighter colored earthy dull crystals that are in it. They're probably worn to clay or eroded to clay now, well, weathered to clay, but we do have that submetallic crystal right there in this earthy rock. Why is this a rock? Because there's a bunch of different stuff in it. Minerals are one thing. Rocks are multiple minerals. It's very simple. Waxy. Now, calcite is waxy not only to the feel, but to the touch. Waxy can be from opaque to translucent. Sometimes it can be transparent. There are types of calcite you can actually read through. Chalcedony and agate and jasper is also often that waxy. Waxy. See that? It looks like candle wax, except for it's super hard. Yeah, definitely not wax. It's definitely a rock, but that's your waxy luster. So a couple of pro tips. Like every observation, we're going to document with our pencils. And we're going to use our handy dandy worksheet that we have downloaded and have been doing our investigation upon for our specimen. We are also going to look at the lusters, not only where the stone is weathered, but where the stone has freshly broken surfaces. So look, we have an earthy luster and a waxy luster. Earthy luster on the weathered surface, waxy luster on the fresh broken surface. These are things we're going to document. If you look really close at that waxy luster, there's some little like metallic-y type particles that flash back at you. So that might be something you document too, not just during other phases when you notice it, but during every single investigation. Note everything you observe. You cannot over document. What luster is this to you? Tell me in the comments. I'll tell you, it feels a little bit like chalcedony, a little bit like calcite. I can feel the crystal faces a little bit because it's harder. It's harder than calcite. But yeah, what luster is this? Tell me in the comments. So luster is super important because it can be the difference between chalcedony and opal. In fact, a lot of the identifications that I do are based on the luster of the specimen I see in a picture. So on those online forums where I'm chiming in, a lot of the times I'm looking at the luster. So this is a very important thing. Very short topic, not multiple TikToks like the other ones, but a very important one to get to know familiar types of rocks and their known lusters. And rocks can have different lusters, by the way. It's like a range. So just so you know, there you go. All right, there it is. On to chapter 6. Oh, and if you're curious about the rock identification guidebook that I wrote, links in the bio. And I'd hurry up and order it. There's a really cool pre-order sale going on right now. It goes through October 31st, but if you're seeing this after October 31st, book is totally available, ebooks available, worksheets available, it's all available. Just link, follow for more. Oh, and if you don't want to buy anything, that's okay. Just learn from the TikTok series. I'm not leaving anything out.